Here we go. Our objective for today, I can identify angle relationships. Let's read together. 1, 2, 3. I can identify angle relationships. So we started last week. I gave you guys a protractor, and we had a blank sheet of paper we're exploring, right? Today we're going to write definitions for all that we did last week, okay? So, to get us started, you don't need a Ferrer model. I'm just going to have you write the term and the definition. Here we go. So, angle relationships. First of all, write this down. Vertical angles. Vertical angles. It says, vertical angles are the non-adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. And then I'll give you an example, and then we'll go over that in a little bit. Vertical angles are non-adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. Next one, adjacent angles. They have a common vertex and a common side, but no common interior points. And to elaborate on this one, I want you to write in parentheses, angles right next to each other. So, adjacent angles have a common vertex and a common side, but no common interior points. And I'll elaborate on those. Copy that. All right, before we move on, I'm going to give you examples of these two. Okay, here we go. So, get your, you can use a protractor, and I want you to draw one line like this, another line like this. You don't have to look exactly like mine or as perfect as mine, but make sure it has arrows at the end. Okay, so I want you to place a point down in the center so that we remember what these are called. First of all, look at the definition for adjacent angles. It says they have a common vertex. Who remembers what the vertex is? Where the angle starts, right? So this one right here, let's label this one so that we know that one is the vertex. The vertex is this one right here. Let me erase this and point to it. That's the vertex. Alright? So, we said last time when we explored with our protractors, we said that this angle, look up, this angle is congruent to this one. Yes? So let's label this one. Look up, please. Let's label this one A, B. Okay. Thank you. Marissa, remind me this at the end. Okay. All right. So vertical angles, let's see what it says, are non-adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. So this one is vertical to this one. So these are known as vertical angles. So angle, look up please here on your definition. I want you to write angle A. And look at the symbol I'm going to use. It's an equal sign, but with a little wiggle on top. That symbol is called a congruent, which means that they measure the same. So angle A is congruent to angle what? B. Remember that we did that exploration last week? So therefore, if these two are vertical, guess what? These two are vertical. For these, I want you to put two arches like this, so that we know that these two are vertical also. And let's label this one, what can we label this one? C and D. So Therefore, here we're going to write angle C is congruent to angle D. Are we there? Okay. All right. So first, let me clarify the term adjacent. So we covered vertical angles. We know that these are vertical, right? Adjacent means next to. Next to. So let me ask you this. Emily is sitting next to who? Andrew and Jose. So therefore, Andrew and Jose are adjacent. I'm sorry. Andrew and Jose are adjacent to Emily. Are we there? So with that said, look over there where Melanie is at. Who's adjacent to Melanie? Nice. Damien and Alexi. Yeah, so they are adjacent. Are we there? So everybody look up over there with where Simon is at. Who's adjacent to Simon? Aaron. Does everybody? Yeah, exactly, just Aaron. So whoever's immediately next to, that's adjacent. So with that said, look up, please. Look up. Look up. Definition for adjacent angle says that they have a common vertex. Okay. So all these angles have a common vertex, right? But they also need to have a common side. So watch. Look up, please. Look up. Adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are angle C and angle A. Let's see. Look at C. Look up. What's next to C? Next to A. But somebody said B, so we can also say that angle C is adjacent to angle B. Everybody with me? Copy that, please. That's what adjacent is, because they are next to and they're sharing one side. So look up. Andrew, do you see that angle C has this side shared with angle A? That's why they are adjacent, right next to. Angle C is adjacent to angle B because they're sharing this side. Is that correct? That's why these are adjacent. How are we doing? Good? So with that said, I want you to write me, look up, what angles are adjacent to angle D? Go. Write them out, please. What angles are adjacent to angle D? Hector, give me the first angle that's adjacent to angle D. Angle A. Does everybody agree with that angle A is adjacent to angle D? Okay? So what other angle is adjacent to angle D, Jimena? B. Angle B. That is correct because they're sharing that one side. Everybody got it? Yeah. All right, so now that we clarified vertical angles are congruent angles, right? And adjacent is that they're right next to and they're sharing a side and a vertex. All right, let's move on to the next terms. Copy these. Complementary angle are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. Complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. Write that down, please. Complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. And the next term, supplementary angles, two angles that add up to 180 degrees. Complementary angles, two angles that add up to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles, two angles that add up to 180 degrees. So, I want you to draw an angle here. And let's label this one 23 degrees. And I want you to draw another angle. And this one we're going to label X. Can you get the left light, please? All right. So let's work on this one. Here we go. I'm going to zoom in. Complementary angles, it says that, well, that it's two angles that add up to how many degrees? 90. So here they give us two angles. Look up, please. These two angles are complementary, but this one doesn't have a measurement. So check this out. We know that this one plus that one should equal to what? 90 degrees. Are we there? Do you see the equation? Let's write the equation. 23 plus x equals 90 degrees. And do we know how to solve those? Yes. Minus 23 minus 23. X equals 67. And I want you to put a little degree sign right there. So that is 67 degrees. So this one is equal to 67 degrees. So once again, two angles that add up to how much? 90 degrees. Those are what? Complementary. Two angles that add up to 90 degrees are what? Complementary. So let me zoom out so that you remember. Look up, please. Watch. I do this every year, so hopefully you'll remember. Here we go. Here's a 90 degree. Who sees this? Who saw that? What is it? Who sees the C in 90? For complementary. Are we there? Now let me show you this next one. Look up. I know. You're like, bam. Remember this one from last year? Here we go. So, S for what? Supplementary. This one has C for complementary. This one has S for supplementary. So with that said, let me give you two angles that are equal to 180 degrees. Here we go. Draw this, please. So we're done with complementary, yes? All right, draw this. Oh, man, that was an ugly line. Be nice. Draw a straight line like that with your protractor, please. And then draw an angle like this, a ray like this. So now check this out. Look up. This one is 35 degrees. And this one we're going to label it Y degrees. But according to the definition, it says supplementary angles are two angles that are that add up to 180 degrees. So that means this plus that is equal to what? So let's write our equation. 180 equals what? Y plus 35. So therefore, what do I do there? Subtract 35, subtract 35. This is 145 equals Y, and those are degrees. So this one is 145 degrees. Yes? For right now, no. Okay. So now, do they always have to be like this for supplementary? No. Let's draw two more angles, please. Here we go. I want you to draw this. All right. So let's label this one. Give me a number. 53 degrees. That's 53, and this one we're going to label it A. So I want you to find me the degrees for A if these two are supplementary. If those two are supplementary, find me the degree for A. I'll pause it here. Alright, here we go. Help me with this one, please. Felipe, tell me what to write. Help me to write out the equation and solve it, please. What do I write?
To solve it, you put 58 plus 8.
53 plus A
Equals 180.
180. Hands if you did that. That is correct. From there.
Put the line down the equal sign. Subtract 53 from both sides.
And you got what? A equals
27.
Who got 127? That is correct. This is equal to 127 degrees. Okay, show me with your fingers how comfortable you are with these. 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. Okay, so we got some 3s, some weird fingers, 5s, 4s, okay, some 2s. All right, we're going to do a couple more of these, but before that, I'm going to do this one example that I want us to label as many angles that we can. So let's see. In the back of that paper, draw this next example, please. Here we go. Get your protractors ready so you can draw these. First, I want you to draw a line straight up and down, like this. A line. And then another line intersecting that like this, like if it was a coordinate plane. And then a third line like this. And make sure they all have a common vertex. And we're going to label this one example Q. All right? So now check this out. First of all, I'm going to label this now, and I'm going to give points to each line. Watch. Look up, please. Stop what you're doing. Look up to the screen. Watch. I'm going to place a point here. We know that's the vertex. We're going to label that one Q. But then I'm going to plot a point on each of the rays. Look, I'm going to plot a point here. I'm going to label that A. Another point here, B. Another point here, C. Another point here, X. Another point here, Y. And another point here, Z. Be nice. All right. So, look what I'm going to do. Look up, please. Is everybody done labeling? Okay, I'll give you 20 seconds. Go. This is what we're going to do. Look up, please. First, and let's label this. Let's label this one with red like this. If you have red. Okay? And that one, if it's like this, label like a little square, that one we already know it's 90 degrees. Okay? So here we go. Look up, please. So, first of all, look what I'm going to do. I'm going to move one of the lines to see if you see what I see. Look up, please. I'm going to move this one out of the way. Okay? No, I know. I'm trying to just show you what I see. This one measures 90 degrees. And according to the definitions that we just wrote down, when there's two lines intersecting like these two angles are called what? Think about it. Don't say it out loud. When there's two lines intersecting, These two angles are called what? Tell your neighbor, please. Okay. I'll take a volunteer for this one. Andrew.
Oh, they're called yeah, they're called
Mark, what are these called? Vertical angles. Who saw that?
Wow.
That is correct. When two lines intersect, these two are vertical, which means if this one is 90 degree, what is this one? 90 degree. Are we there so far? All right. So, check this out. Let me put this back where it belongs. All right. So now check this out. So this is what I'm going to write. I want you to write next to it over here. I want you to write vertical angles. Vertical angles. We're going to find all the angles that we can see from here. Here we go. So, look how I'm going to write this. Angle X, Q, Z. X, Q, Z. Put a little arrow that way with a little arc. So angle XQZ is vertical to what angle? Think about it, don't say it out loud. XQZ is vertical to, everyday, go. Is vertical to angle AQC. Hands if you saw that. That is correct. So now check this out. Let me give you another one. Look up. Angle XQA. Look up. XQA is vertical to which angle? Write it in there, please. Angle XQA is vertical to which angle? Write it in there, please.
Stop saying it loud.
Okay. Tell your neighbor what it's vertical to which angle? No. As long as you keep the vertex in the center.
Yeah, you don't put it in order,
Huh? Oh, it's confidential.
I did.
All right, here we go. Who said XQA is vertical to angle ZQC? Anthony, got that? Now check this out. Look up, please. Now the order of these, it doesn't matter, except for, look up, the vertex. The vertex has to always be where? In the middle. In the middle. We can write this as angle AQC or CQA. How about this one? XQZ or ZQX. Does that make sense? As long as you keep the vertex in the middle. Okay, so we're done with that. Let's go to the next one. Let's write complementary. Complementary. So according to the definition, complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. Is that correct? All right. So, do you see the 90 degree? Yes. So I want you to write the two angles that add up to 90 degrees. Go. Do that by yourself. So, according to the definition, two angles that add up to 90 degrees are complementary. So let's see. Here's 90 degrees. Do you see the two angles that add up to 90 degrees? Here's the first one, and here's the second one. Are we there? So, angle XQY plus angle YQZ should equal to 90 degrees. And those are what? Complementary. With that said, look up please. Look up please. We said that this one was vertical to this one, is that correct? That means that this is 90 degrees. Is that correct? So write me the other two angles that add up to 90 degrees. Go. That are complementary. Angle AQB plus angle BQC, that is equal to 90 degrees.
Oh, no. Angle.
And we'll stop right there. Your home plate, look up please. Your home plate is going to be very similar to what we just did. So your home plate will be found on pages 256, 257. If you need to revisit this lesson, I'm going to upload the video by the end of the day. Hold on. Send the protractors forward, please. And your home plate, you turn it on your way out. Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy your home plate. See you guys tomorrow.